morning, everyone, and welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. And on the show today, joining us is Ruin De Silva. He is an actor, a theatre personality, and a photographer. And we're here to talk to him about all of these things that he does. So, good morning.
Good morning, Rai.
Good morning, Ruin.
Hi.
It's great to have you on the show. And to start off with, we're going to initially talk to you about, there are different caps that you wear, but we want to talk about all of them. But Let's start off with theatre, because I know that's been quite a big part of your life. You initially started off doing, productions, but in characters and roles, and now it's grown into being, you're directing and so on. So let's go through that progression. Let's talk about theatre from school, or when did that start, and how did that work out?
Theatre from school, well, the very first role I played was a fairy. No, actually, it was a wave. I played the wave in Tempest. This was for Shakespeare drama competition. A wave, I had to do a lot of body movements and stuff. And then the very next year, I was chosen to play a fairy. Again, a lot of body movements and flying around and
non-speaking roles.
Non-speaking roles, yeah. I absolutely didn't have anything to say. So from the wave, we just literally we just had to go backstage and become a rock. That's it.
Okay. And from that, you progressed obviously after school. After you left school.
After I left school, there was an audition for this play called Chat Room. I think I just got a text message from someone saying there's an audition, try it out and all of that. And I was literally so nervous to go for this thing, but my friends dragged me along and I went. And
you never auditioned before for anything either?
No.
And there was a young cast. You had 5 or 6 young, and it was an internet chat room kind of scenario.
Yes,
You've got several people sitting in a row talking about the kinds of,
Yeah, it was mainly about suicide though.
Yes, it was. I remember this came out a few years ago. So, and from there, that's where you started off.
Yeah, that's where I started. So I got selected for Chat Room. It was a big surprise because I hardly did anything at the audition. I don't know why, I got selected for it. 3 months down the line, there I was, on stage, big lights, lots of people freaking out. It was great.
And then you stuck with the theatre company?
Actually, a couple of years later, I did a couple more productions with them.
Okay.
And then Tracy Hallsinger, who runs Mind Adventures Theatre Company, invited me to join them. And I'm still there.
You're still there. Yeah. But the roles have changed. You're no longer a wave or a fairy. You've kind of morphed into something else. Let's talk about the progression of what you've been doing, what you started off doing as an actor. But now you've taken on a lot more. There's a lot more on your plate. Let's talk about all of that too.
So with the company we do a lot of experimental theatre. It's a lot of devising, and it's not like we don't do scripted stuff. We do, but as a company, our main approach is doing a lot of experimental theatre, literally creating the story, creating a script, or creating your own characters, and just finally sort of making this massive sort of production. So it's really interesting. It's a different type of technique in terms of the other stuff I do, using a script and just portraying that role. And this is also really, really different. It's good. It's time consuming. You lose a lot of friends down the line. Parents get really angry when you don't come home for dinner and things like that. But it's I love it. I absolutely love it. It's feel like this is the kind of thing that I would want to do
forever.
Not forever. Well, future, I guess, or now, or later, or this is the thing which kind of stuck in my life.
Okay. Talking about experimental theatre, obviously, again, you're pushing boundaries. It's not like you're taking a script and then just performing, and it's not, pre-written. You have several workshops. So you try to figure out, how best to work in those roles. And you also don't have it in conventional theatres. You've got different kind of locations, and those are all quite new too. It's not that it's not been done before, but it's again still a little novel and a little difficult to push to audiences. How receptive do you think people have been over the years to experimental theatre, which is something that you've been kind of more involved with in the recent past?
Well, I have to say, when you take a lot of people who wants to get involved in theatre, lots of people are quite scared to experiment. I guess with my experience, I meet a lot of people who'd be more comfortable in doing a scripted play because everything is literally there and you don't have to sort of explore a bit more, or like whatever. But I have to say, it's just it's been getting a lot, like even Mind Adventures, we've been getting a lot of like new faces into the scene. Even the last play, we got like lots of new people who basically actors who not really devised before. And I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess some people love it, some people don't. You know, it's just, I have to find what kind of cup of tea is yours. So it's just like, it's all up to you, I guess, as an actor.
Some people love it, some people don't.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you should say that, because obviously when we talk about your photography again, that's something that we need to get into. We'll explain why in just a bit. Right now we take a quick break here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll see you on the other side. Topics for choosing things that aren't subjects that aren't mainstream. But let's start at the beginning. Where did it all start off?
I think it started at the same time when I was just doing chat room. I think it was 2007 or something. When like I used to meet all these people, like different. I mean, they used to do all these different things, like theater or music or photography and stuff, right? So I mean, there I was. I mean, I used to meet these people carrying like this large like gadgets, and like, I mean, they look really cool, and like everybody's like, wow, this camera, blah blah blah. Taking pictures and all these things. So I was like, yeah, I need one of these things, you know. And I went up to my grandmother, told her that I want a camera, and she just got me a very basic DSLR, which I still have actually. It's not working, but it's still there.
That's my next question. Does it work?
No, no, it's not working at all.
So you've been taking pictures since, but what did you start off taking pictures with? And
as in taking pictures of?
Yeah.
Just random things actually. Like it's like I was never one of those people who like wanted to be like this big photographer. That was never like a dream. So it just like I had this toy, so I was just playing around. I was just shooting all sorts of things, like mostly I guess people, because it was soon after. I mean, it was right after school, so I would go for all these rehearsals or go for all these events or musical shows or whatever. So yeah, I mean, like it was just like a random thing which I used to carry and just shoot, I guess.
But over time, you've, for a lack of a better way to describe it, you've got attached to the human body form.
Yes.
And you also take pictures of something that's a little bit of a taboo here in Sri Lanka. No one wants to really talk about it. But nude photography, which is very artistic, but most people don't want to, you know, say it out loud because it's a little scary for some. But how challenging has it been for you to work on projects like that? And you know,
quite challenging. Quite challenging actually, because it was the very first project was something which came during college. So I was in my last year of college, and I was supposed to do this personal project, and I really didn't know what to do. So this was that point to actually challenge myself, and honestly, during that time, that was the only project I like gave my 100% on. Like everything else was like, yeah, okay, I'll finish it like on the last week or something. But this was just something which I was working on. So yeah, I guess in a way I really kind of got into it, and I kept like asking people to literally strip for me so I could like shoot it, and like so yeah, and like I was more interested in like how the body would move in different ways, and how the light sort of hit it and how it reflected back. It's like it's really hard to explain, but like but the truth and the beauty of it is that it's a natural form. I mean, we all have it, even though we wear clothes and we cover it up and we put all these things. It's just the true form is our natural body. So like I guess in a way I was like pretty interested in that. And also, I don't know if I'm a troublemaker or something, but like it's just only because lots of people were just like completely against it, I just kind of like pushed me to just go at it.
Yes, troublemaker would be a good word for you at this point. But other than you know, the human body form, you also enjoy taking pictures. You said of people, and that's kind of also become a business for you, as it were. And that's where really, you know, you take lots of pictures of people now.
Yeah.
But moving on from photography, which is also something that you do, and we introduced you in 3 different ways. The other thing is, of course, with your acting career, as it were.
Yeah.
And that also started, I'm assuming, at the same time theatre started, or when did that start up?
The acting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same time, like soon after Chat Room happened in 2007. So every year there was some sort of project to do. Like every year there was some play, like some tiny role to play or whatever, and it just like kept like happening, and like it was really cool when like lots of other directors would call me and would ask me to come and like play a role in the show, and then I would just like quickly call my friend back and say, oh my god, this guy actually called me and asked me to like be in his play and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's been about almost like 7 years now, and I've done quite a number of roles, and it's like lots of like different roles, but like most of the time I get called for like that role where like be the kid, be the child who's like the victim and things like that. My friends still laugh about it, and like most of the time it's been that, but like it's been amazing actually. Yeah, playing different people.
And not just in theatre, you obviously are also involved in films and short films, which is a entirely different genre, but I guess the Colombo English-speaking theatre circle is quite small, or is that right to say? Is it small enough that you get thrown into all categories?
Well, in comparison to the entire country, I think it's really small. It's very small. Like if we run a show for a while, like it's the number of people who would come to see the show would be so little that we'd like it's really hard to usually like cover like a profit margin or something, which I'm completely not interested about, but like it's like in comparison.
There's a producer listening to us pulling his hair out. He's like, what's he talking about? But let's talk about acting. Wildings Within, which is a film that you were in amongst a few of the others, but why was that project exciting for you?
I would say the plastics. I had to be on a set at 3 a.m. and for about 3 hours they put all these like oil and plastic and made my nose even bigger. And I became
You were a goblin?
I was a goblin.
We have to explain why you had so much prosthetic on.
I had 3 horns and I was completely green, but I still had skinny arms and stuff. I wore this armor and things like that, but I was a child. I was a boy goblin. That's what my role was.
Boy goblin.
Boy goblin.
Were there girl goblins?
No, unfortunately no. But yeah, so I mean, it's a nice story. It's a nice story about this, how this boy goblin meets this a human boy, and how they sort of connect, and they have like, in terms of like their backstory, like they have this major war. Like the goblins are fighting the humans. That's the story. So how these two meet, and they kind of become friends, and one of us dies. Just watch it and like you'll figure it out.
Well, that's a spoiler alert for you. One of them dies.
Well, it's only 10 minutes long, so you know.
Short films also is obviously this is a short film. But what are the other short film projects that you worked on that you found personally that were very exciting to work on?
The very first one was this thing called Nangi by Luke Spinatidball. It was interesting in terms of like the character was this boy who was from a really like low end of the city, and it was basically this story about how his sister gets kidnapped and how he's just like going crazy around the entire city looking for her. So that was a really interesting one. And the current one which I'm working right now is called Elephant. It's being shot right now. I mean, like we are shooting these days, so I'm not gonna say much about it, but like it's actually about the Colombo elite.
No more spoiler alerts. We're gonna get in trouble otherwise. We're gonna have some director producer coming here putting his hair or her hair out. But you've also been a part of some really big films, so we don't have a lot of time to talk about this, but you've been a part of big casts, and we've had to, as you said before the show, he said we'd have to pause to find him in it, but it's obviously a great experience to work on those kinds of films, right?
Deeper Midnight Children. Midnight Children was insane. The experience was insane, but if you want to find me in the movie, you might have to pause the frame. That's how bad it is. But like the experience was just great. And the next one should be released end of this year, hopefully. It's already released, doing some festival runs right now. That's called Vara, A Blessing. You don't need to pause the frame for that. I should be there for a little bit longer. Yeah.
All right, well, we hope to see that. We hope to see more films, more photographs, and more theatre. Thank you very much for being on our show, Ravin. Thank you very much. And with that, we need to say bye to everyone watching our show. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. We hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.